I guess for this role, just for this specific one, like not even thinking about any other part where I've been kind of like in a leading position. Like when I play, if I do like an extra role, of course it's a lot less pressure, it's a lot less anything. Like you don't need to know your lines perfectly. Like for this, I stressed so much, like learning and knowing everything just so I wouldn't be an issue. I just wanted to be the best little hunter I could, but you go
swim little Yeah, it's a different ball of wax. When you're supporting a player, you're there to offer something specific in support of the film and everything. But when you're a lead, there's a lot more obligation. It's a lot more of, especially as a protagonist, you have a lot more of the mundane shit. You know, walks in the rain, whatever, you know, where's Hunter getting milk for his coffee, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of everyday stuff that, you know, the story usually doesn't afford the other characters. You know, when you're a lead villain, of course, most of your time is spent doing bad things. But so yeah, it's much more involved. So as you were getting at, you have to you have to be much more invested. And bring it full circle, and much more three-dimensional to support the story properly. Right. Well, per the writing, you know, it's pretty intense and contentious from day one, minute one that we meet.
Yeah.
So I, of course, wanted to go a little method about it. I'm not going to talk to this guy.
Yep.
We're just going to, you know, just gonna be separate and, you know, keep it nice and creepy and uncomfortable. But the guy is just so damn likable, and he was just yucking it up off camera, and I just said, you know what, you can't beat him, join him. So I made the misfortune of just liking the damn guy, and we're gonna have to make it. we were gonna have to make it work regardless. So that little element that would have been nice, we didn't do it. But you know, this is a small, heartfelt production, and it's more important that everybody sort of gets on. There's no accoutrements, there's no trailers to ice to, there's nowhere to go. Right. So I thought it was more important at the end of the day that we all just hit it off and be comfortable and do, you know, work well together.
For this film, it gets so intense. Like it gets so just in your face, like emotionally taxed so much that I think the levity outside was so necessary. Like as soon as cut, like anytime like we were done, I was like, oh thank God, like yeah, and then I'd have to like shrink it back down. But I think that helped me like to do the emotional and the hard parts because I was like, I needed that levity just for me. Like, and I could be crying 1 second and then just be like, oh, like, yeah, like, that was a good take, guys, right?
Well, you really had that ability to just, as soon as the camera stops, like, okay.
Otherwise, I'd be fucking miserable.
Yeah. Well, we had and it was great. Rob gave us the freedom to act out physically, but we had the structure of the script where it needed to go. And then we sort of filled in the blanks there at certain moments. So it was a lot of really nice give and take. That and more than any of the acting, I wanted to see how the final brawl, how it looks, how it worked. And the story, you know, and chronologically, it was nice. It was the last thing we shot, and so all of these plot points and all of the nastiness throughout the story, it all comes to a head. And that carried over into the actual final shoot. So I think it added a little extra energy to it.
I guess I'd say Jimmy Dale's is your regular, everyday, ultimate badass. Just like, He says the small things that you wouldn't think could be creepy. Like just some word, like one sentence or phrase could just be taken out of context. Like a little kid could say the same sentence and you'd be like, that's adorable. But then in Jimmy Dale's mouth, like erupting from his like the darkness.
Here comes Santa.
Here comes Santa.
Especially from Jimmy's perspective, I mean, Hunter represents everything that was taken from Jimmy. His youth, his levity, his lightheartedness, even though he's, in a bad place, he has all that potential, all that salvation that is way past Jimmy. And, that natural resentment of youth, and of much more innocence. Jimmy is, I think, completely incapable of ever going there. So there's something innately that he hates about it, and resents about it. And also, just in the predatory sense, he sees Hunter as an easy mark, as a lost soul who may or may not be useful. And we'll let the story tell the rest of it.
Cool. So, thank you guys.
Nothing else? Weather?
Yeah.
Sports, politics?
Yeah. What do you think about the election?
Oh, God, no.
We were just chatting about it.
I'd rather fight on the ground with this guy at 3 a.m.
Well, cool. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
We did it.
We have to see Oprah next, so you'll excuse us.